Hey yo everybody, it's been a minute since my last upload. Truthfully, it's just been crazy times with me recently, but I'm still here and I'm still interested in covering the latest about Planet Zoo, and while I'm definitely late to the party with this one, I still wanted to make a video about the brand new Planet Zoo Conservation Pack and Update 1.10 that was just announced. In this video, I just want to do a quick overview of all of it and just summarize my thoughts. Kicking things off with the new DLC, I just want to begin by quickly summarizing what this new pack has to offer. To quote them on Steam, introducing the Planet Zoo Conservation Pack. Learn about the critical role zoos take in helping the planet as you expand your zoo with 5 endangered animals: the Przewalski's horse, the Amur leopard, the scimitar horned oryx, the siamang, and the axolotl. Embrace a more sustainable future using 150 plus stunning scenery pieces based on themes of rewilding and natural resource management. Create a haven of wild meadow plants and food plots with appealing new scenery pieces. Construct stunning habitats and buildings from environmentally friendly materials. Take on a challenging new scenario in Mongolia's Turtle Rock Wildlife Orphanage and rescue animals in need. So basically, it's a brand spanking new $10 scenery pack that embraces both animal and plant conservation and focuses on giving the players a variety of eco-friendly scenery as well as just being a really great prop pack. One of the biggest things that people are praising about this pack is the amount of super useful new scenery props that it just gives us, and I'm one of those people. From these gardening tools to the scrap materials, these new pieces are definitely one of the biggest reasons to buy the pack. Oh, and just know that it launches on June 21st. Okay, so having gotten my initial summary out of the way, I just gotta say I love how original this pack feels. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I, just like everyone else, am pretty surprised that we're ending up with a conservation pack, just based on that live stream that they had done and what we had gathered from that live stream. We basically gathered leopards and farming. It was a really fun live stream, but it definitely was confusing, and for it to end up being conservation, I just think it's kind of funny because once again they just pulled another wetlands animal pack on us and led us to believe something and then only for it to turn out to be something different. But with all that being said, despite how surprising it is, it honestly feels right. This is the 10th Planet Zoo pack to date, the 10th one. I mean, that is a milestone. 10 packs now since November of 2019. Here we are, and to have a conservation pack of all themes being that 10th one, it's great. I won't lie, I would have definitely preferred having, I know we all would have, but we would have preferred having something as big as aviaries being the 10th pack, but a conservation pack makes sense. And it's kind of funny because I wouldn't have really imagined a conservation pack working quite this way. I mean, see, here's the thing. A little while ago now, I say a little while ago, it was a while ago when I had actually come up with a very similar idea. I was thinking if they're going to do a conservation pack one day, how would they do it as a scenery pack? And well, I was just thinking sanctuaries, backstage props, and then just a good set of endangered animals that are very famous, and here we are. So, but I just didn't think they'd ever do it because I didn't think that they'd fully embrace a sanctuary theme, and they kind of have, but really instead of it being more sanctuary, they've gone with more of an eco-friendly theme, and I think that's great to have essentially recycled materials be the scenery pieces. It's very cool. I just think it's kind of funny to go from the Europe pack where the scenery was essentially big and grand and very thematic, being Europe, to something that's far more original and much more specific. But it honestly works. This is not, despite this being another scenery pack, it already feels very different to the last one, and I think that's great. You gotta have that variety. I do have a lot I want to say about the animals, and we will get to them, but I just wanted to talk about the general theme here and what they're showing off, especially on this cover art. It looks unconventional in some way. I know that might sound weird, but especially if you take away the logo, I wouldn't even know for sure if this is Planet Zoo. It just looks so interesting, having the siamangs on their rails and the Przewalski's horse up so close. It's just such an interesting theme. They have taken the idea of just conservation and have squeezed the theme out of it, and it works. So I want to give them a round of applause for that. Now let's go ahead and move on to the animals so I can talk about them. Alright, getting on to the animals now, we're going to start off with the face of the pack. That is the Przewalski's horse, and that is how you pronounce it. I know it's a tough name to pronounce, and the spelling does not help. You wouldn't think Przewalski's horse would start with a PR, but it does. So, other than the name, this animal is beautiful. It honestly is a great reflection of the rest of the animals in this pack and how it it brings home so many big, long requested animals. I mean, I'll get into all of them soon, but especially of all animals, the Przewalski's horse, to be here finally in Planet Zoo. I mean, this is an animal that people have been wanting ever since launch, though it wasn't an animal that I knew people were like dying to have. We just wanted it. We just wanted this beautiful horse to be in game. It is the last true wild horse, and again, just to finally have it feels symbolic, especially in the 10th pack of all packs. Here it is, and also especially as the face of the pack. See, I kind of figured one day we'd get it. I think we all knew one day it was gonna happen, but for it to be the face of that pack, it just feels so right. It feels so right. It's awesome, and my god, this picture here is just gorgeous. I cannot begin to describe enough how beautiful it is. You know, I mean, we all see it. And another great thing you can see in this picture that I know other people are praising right now is the plants. And of course, you can't forget that this pack gives us a brand beautiful new selection of plants, mostly ground plants, I know, from flowers to new grasses, and it just looks, it looks so good. Yeah, beautiful animal. I cannot wait to see them in game. I'm sure it's taking the zebra rig, but it works. It really was going to come down to the model at the end of the day, and they nailed it. It's so cool to just have a true horse in game now, you know. So let's go ahead and move on to the next big animal, and that would be the Siamang. So, yeah, holy crap. Gibbons. I just, finally. I know like all the initial hype is done at this point, but I'm still like getting over the fact that they finally did get gibbons. Ever since the Southeast Asia Animal Pack, where they didn't give us gibbons, I have just been absolutely dying to have them. You know, just with how many like gibbon islands people have made with no gibbons in them, and to finally have them now, it feels big. This is a big pack to finally get gibbons in, and again, it just continues that theme of them bringing home so many highly requested animals. But Siamangs, they are just such a cool primate, such a cool primate. I don't know if they would be the species of gibbon I'd pick. Honestly, I think I love northern white-cheeked gibbons as well as Lar gibbons, but these guys, I totally understand. I think they're the biggest in captivity, as well as for sure being the biggest gibbon species. As you can see, they are already brachiating and doing that tightrope walking thing they do. Now they talk more about the new arboreal enrichment item that, well, it's weird because it's not quite an enrichment item, but it's modular. They talk more about it in the update, so I'll talk more about that then when we get to the update, but thankfully they are brachiating and tightroping as they should be. I hope they are wild and fast as they are in real life, and as you can already see, they do their famous calls, and also in the update their calls are going to be synchronized in family choruses as they would in real life. It's awesome. I'm glad that if waiting meant getting gibbons as good as they are right now, well then I'm happy we waited. I really am. Versus just getting them all the way back then when they may not have been quite as good. So I'm glad we waited. I'm so happy to have gibbons in Planet Zoo, and I honestly hope from this, I know people will make more mods, but it'd be great to get more gibbons in the future, and now that there's a start of them. But there's just such a big primate in zoos, and also just the model here, beautiful. They already have that goofy look, and this picture, this face right here, that is just the community right now with this new pack, so it's awesome. It's so cool. On to the last animal, we have a picture of the scimitar horned oryx. Now I know this is kind of the odd one out right now. Well, it's not like an odd choice to have. It actually makes a lot of sense, but I think a lot of people would have preferred something other than another ungulate, but this seems to be the year of the ungulate with Frontier as we keep getting new ungulates, but I love it. And scimitar horned oryx, it's going to be hard to convey this, but I have a bit of a connection with these guys. My local zoo, that has been my local zoo for the past 8 years now, has scimitar horned orcs. It's the Brevard Zoo. And so I've seen them every single time I've gone to the zoo, which has been quite often because I work there. And just seeing these guys in a herd out there, I've been able to walk right over them, and it's so cool to finally have them in game. It's an animal that feels right to be in this pack, and every single time people have speculated about scimitar horned orcs being in Planet Zoo, it has always been with the idea of a conservation pack. So for it to finally happen is just really cool. Again, this pack feels super symbolic in so many ways. And it is just a beautiful antelope to have. It's a shame that Oryx is for like the Gems box, which is the other Oryx we already have. I feel like it gets forgotten a lot, and I will admit I forget about it too sometimes. So I hope I don't forget about these new guys, but I doubt I will, because again, the scimitar horned orcs means something special to me. And just in this first picture right here, of course, they look fantastic. I'm not expecting anything new other than a beautiful new model, but that is okay. It's just great to have them in game, and I honestly cannot wait to see more of them. Now, we have no pictures of the Amur leopard or the axolotl yet, but still talking about them though, starting with the Amur leopard, just going off of footage here. This is once again another huge animal for us to get. I mean, come on. We, just like the Przewalski's horse and the Siamings, we have been waiting for leopards, proper leopard species, which we have not had until now, to be in Planet Zoo for such a long time. Ever since launch. Ever since the game was announced, leopards, an actual leopard species, because just to be clear, snow leopards and clouded leopards aren't actually true leopards. An actual true leopard species, like the Amur, is a species we've been waiting for so long. So it's great to have them here, and in a conservation pack nonetheless. It just feels symbolic once again. I cannot wait to see them. And also, well, little sneak peek, you can actually just barely see one in the cover art. I spotted it. It's way too pixelated to see, and I hope to God it doesn't look like how it does in this one picture, because it kind of looks like a jaguar or a tiger to me, but you can see it there. Though I can't wait to see it in game, and I really hope that they don't fail on the babies, because I honestly think Amur leopard cubs are one of the cutest cats out there. They really are. They are up there with snow leopards, competing for the cutest cats out there, and yeah, no, I can't wait to see more of them, but there's only so much I can say right now with no pictures. But it is kind of funny though how it's not the face of the pack. I would have expected it to be, so oh well, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And the other one is the axolotl. Now, I just want to quickly say it's funny, really funny, that this is the third newt/salamander we've gotten in a row. You know, we had the fire salamander with the Europe pack, the Danube crested newt with the wetlands animal pack, and now the axolotl with the conservation pack. Like, a small part of me wants them to chill with how many new salamanders and newts, and hopes that the next pack won't give us another one. But at the exact same time, the majority of me is saying keep it going. Come on, let's go for more. I really want a tiger salamander. Yeah, no, I love salamanders and newts. So, and axolotls are adorable. So it feels great. It feels right to have. It does fit the pack. I know people wanted them, and I'm sure they're going to be. I'm expecting them to go for the more cute pink and white version, and while I think that's less true to the real life wild counterparts, it still makes sense, and it's still what they're famous for, just being cute, white, and having those weird, I know what they are they gills along the back? I forgot exactly. I'm not an axolotl expert, but they're adorable, and I hope that they, I'm sure they'll make them right in game, and curious to see what their tanks look like as well, since I know in the wild they live in more dark environments, so I guess we'll find out. Alright, so before we move on to a quick overview of Update 1.10, I also just want to say that the music in the pack is awesome so far. It sounds beautiful. It sounds like a true wild western film. I really hope that they do not skip out on a new soundtrack again like they did with the Wetlands Animal Pack. I am still bummed about that. Every day I think about the Wetlands Animal Pack, I think, darn it, they didn't do it, because I listen to these soundtracks all the time, especially the pack soundtracks, and it was very sad to see that they hadn't done it with their most recent one, so I'm very worried that they have once again not done it, but we'll guess we'll find out. Let's hope that the conservation pack has a fantastic soundtrack added to it. It doesn't even have to be fantastic, just please. And if it's anything like the music in the trailer, well then I hope we are in for a real good treat. But now, with all that being said, I've summarized my thoughts on the pack, I've talked about the animals, and at this point most people already know what we're getting, so let's just go ahead and take a look at the most recent thing announced, that being Update 1.10. Alright, now I'm not going to spend too long on the update, as this video is going on long enough, and you can read all of it for yourself in a link in the description down below, but I do want to briefly go over and highlight some of the best features. First things first, this is a much better, bigger update than the previous one, and that can already be seen with the addition of the new education stations. To summarize it best, it's another expansion of the education aspect of your zoos, where you can now place down either height measuring stations, soundboard stations, and or paw print stations for the children of your zoos to interact with. I think this is a really clever idea, and I'm low-key really looking forward to playing around with the soundboard station myself just to see which animals I can identify, but it's a cool feature nonetheless that adds a lot to the game. Another one of the big features is the addition of both animal sniffing and animal chorus groups. Some of the animals do already sniff around as a part of their animations, but this update is simply expanding that to be more of a major aspect of animals exploring their environments, and it's being added to most animals in the game except for these ones right here. These ones make sense as to why they don't have it, except for the aardvark in my opinion. I'm kind of surprised that that one doesn't have it when sniffing is pretty much all they do. But the other big animal behavior this time around is the addition of animal chorus groups, where a group of animals will come together to make a chorus of sounds as a social activity. This currently applies to the Arctic and Timberwolves as well as the newly added Siamangs. And speaking of the Siamangs, one last major feature the update introduces is the addition of these new climbing enrichments that exhibit the brachiation. Of course the Siamangs are using it, but that is currently the only animal they specify will use it right now, which is surprising because most people were expecting the orangutans to use it as well. But what I suspect is similar to the burros that were added not too long ago. Over time, they should be adding more animals to it over a series of updates, including the orangutans, that should be using it as orangutans are known for their brachiation. Oh, and just know that they've already clarified that this new enrichment item is modular, thankfully. Now there is still more to this update, from things like the addition of group photos to small habitat gates, which is an awesome addition by the way, and additional shop counters and signs, but I just wanted to briefly talk about my favorite new features, and I gotta say, this is a really solid update. I highly recommend you read the rest of it for yourself if you've not done so. And that is going to be it for the video, guys. I just wanted to do my own overview of the pack and the update. I tried to make it as brief as I could, but the truth is I had a lot to say about the new pack. I think it's an awesome idea and I cannot wait to see more of it. And the update as well I wanted to mention because I think it's really cool. But I wanted to go ahead and thank you guys so much for watching this video and apologize for how long it's been since I've uploaded, but the truth is moving into a new house, which has been the biggest thing for me recently, has taken up a lot of my time. But I'm happy to start making videos again, even if it might take me a little while to really get back into it. It's still fun to do, and I'm really looking forward to showing off more of this pack with all of you guys and checking it out with each other. It's looking like a great DLC, and I can't wait to see more of it. So again, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.